Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And joining me, as always, is the co-host of the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious _ D23. What is good, my brother?
Good to see you, my man. Good to see you.
Hey, it's awesome seeing you, man. Hey, we're doing this because Trav is on vacation now.
Yes,
and
it's my turn.
It's D's
Try
turn.
to reach over. He slapped the hand.
Hey, because that's what family does. But yeah, today we are going to be reviewing, like you see on the TV screen behind me, Blood Red Sky. I don't know. I mean, maybe you might think that the TV screen is behind me or to the side of me. Who cares? It's just right there. But yeah, we're reviewing Blood Red Sky. It's a new movie that just came out on Netflix, and it was incredible. Like me and D, I had mentioned it to him, and I was just like, "Hey, man, you need to watch this movie. Let's do a review for it." And that's what we're doing tonight. So before we get into today's review, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Podcast in the description. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.
There you go. So the one thing that stuck out to me for this movie before we had both even watched it was I saw that Dominic Purcell was going to be in it. And if you don't know who Dominic Purcell is, he was Dracula in the Blade movie. And then he plays Mick Rory on on Legends of Tomorrow. But, you know, he's been a big figure in the Arrowverse for like the last couple of years. So
for a while, man.
For a while now. So I'll say that, you know, seeing his face on this, like I was excited because it's like I know who he is, and then also too he was in Prison Break. He was on that for a long time too. Now, so it's always cool when you see characters that you've been watching on TV shows for a long time appear in, you know, different movies or other TV shows, because like I said, he's been on this show for years. I want to say at least since 2014, 2015 is when he first came into the Arrowverse. And I will say, spoiler alert, I was disappointed because his character does get taken out pretty early in the movie.
Spoiler alert.
And
it's about 30 minutes in?
Yeah, and I was disappointed because it's like, you know, I was expecting that he was going to be the big bad. I mean, he should have been.
Yeah, well, he was definitely the lead on the operation, and he
for sure.
But there's a lot of movies. I was watching Alien 4 with Isaiah the other day. You know, they have the mercs in that one, and then the leader of them, he comes off cool and calm. He gets taken out like 30 minutes into that movie. So it's just, sometimes it happens like that. The lead guy just...
Yeah, they just get taken out.
Yes,
but
sir.
I'll say that, you know, this movie, now, D, I don't know about you, but when I had first saw like another image for this movie, I thought it was going to be like a zombie movie.
I know that you, sorry to cut you off, Banks, but I know you did initially think it was a zombie movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's on an airplane. It kind of gave me 28 Days Later vibes. 30 Days of Night, excuse me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as far as the vampires, the way they came off. So
yeah,
still turned out to be great. Great movie.
And honestly, I feel like that this was a better version of Snakes on a Plane. I know that, you know, you got the 30 Days of Night vibes, but I got Snakes on a Plane vibe, but it was with vampires. And you know, how we're introduced to the characters. The main character, her name is Naja, and her son Elias. And pretty much what they're trying to do is they're trying to get to New York, so that way that she can find a cure to the leukemia that she has. And like, we don't know that she's a vampire until after she gets shot in the movie. And then that's when I was just like, okay, well, what's going to happen? And she wakes up, and then she's a vampire, and, you know, like all hell breaks loose on this plane. Now, to talk about Dominic Purcell's character, pretty much you had these terrorists on the airplane. They were trying to crash the plane so that way that they could, you know, send a message to the government that it's just like, hey,
they wanted to crash the plane in London.
Yeah, and they wanted to blame it on the people that were on the plane. Like they were trying to frame the people on the plane.
Yes, correct. They rounded up Arabic passengers.
Yes.
And got them to read a message, you know, and then they pre-programmed the plane to crash and all that. It's very elaborate and scary scheme.
Yeah,
very,
for sure.
Little elaborate, you know.
So. And then you had the one guy on the plane who, like D had said before we got into this review, like it was like your boy Laurent from Great Pretender and your boy Keith Slade from Gundam Hathaway, and like, bro, like that's pretty much how Hathaway started.
I was like, didn't we just review this?
Yeah, and like the main guy, like he reminded me of, like he was a combination of like the terrorists that were on the plane in Gundam Hathaway, but he was combined with Laurent because he was I want to say he was a Frenchman. Yes. And he just you know, he was trigger happy and he ended up killing Naja. And like that's how we find out that she's a vampire. And you know, one of the things that I loved is how she tried to do everything in her power to not, you know, give in to the thirst. But like the one guy had told her, it's just like, you know, like you're a monster. At the end of the day, like no matter what you do, like you're eventually going to give in. And that's something that we do see throughout the film. Now, D, I want to ask you, like, what was your thoughts on like seeing her finally transform into the vampire and, you know, everything that she did on the plane after that?
First and foremost, I want to start with a kudos to the practical effects and makeup people on the set. They're very well done, very creepy, very scary. But I liked this story because she was actually able to hold on. Another comparison to 30 Days of Night, where the lead character there, he injects himself with the formula in order to stop the lead vampire. And this, she's already infected and she chooses to let it out, you know, because one of the terrorists on board is basically a psycho, 8-Ball. And that guy was literally nuts. He tried to give up children in this movie. And I was like, geez, that's tough to watch. But I really liked it. I like the point of view where she has to do what she has to do to save her kid. But at the same time, she holds on as long as she can. And she knows and takes that message that the old man gave her, you know, that you are evil. The evil's inside of you. And it's only a matter of time. And we have to stop it from spreading.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
It was crazy how, you know, because she was pretty much like the hero on this plane. Like she was trying to save everybody. And the one terrorist, the Frenchman, he took her blood.
Oh yeah, 8-Ball.
And pretty much, you know, he put it inside his body. And after that, you know, he bit one of his teammates, and like it's kind of like a zombie movie. And like that's the reason why I was saying that I thought it was a zombie movie at first, because some of the images that I was seeing, it's just like, you know, you saw the teeth and all this stuff, and they were on a plane, so that's why I thought. But it's just like, no, like these were vampires. And it's crazy how, you know, how everybody became vampires, like in the snap of a finger. And because the one dude, like, bro, I was so pissed when the guy opened up the door because he wanted to die anyway. But
that guy was a prick.
Yeah, he was telling people, everybody on the plane.
He took the old lady's air, her oxygen when the mask dropped down. Dang.
Yeah. It was just wild, man. And then you had the old dude, like his wife, she ended up getting killed, and then he became a vampire because Naja, she bit him. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, she tried to hold out for as long as she could, man. And then, you know, she finally gave in. She finally started, you know, sucking blood from people and whatnot. And, you know, it was just one of those things where it's just like, you know, you tried. At least you tried, you know? I mean, even if, you know, you got the leukemia taken away, I mean, like, you were still going to be a vampire at the end of the day.
Correct. I thought it was interesting that she was trying to go there. I mean, she basically had it under wraps, so it wasn't in her intention to spread it any further or anything like that. And then all hell breaks loose on that plane. So
yeah. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you know, it was sweet. Like the movie was really good. It was definitely something that I wasn't expecting, because it's like, you know, sometimes it's like we get these Netflix movies and it's just like they can be hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
I will say, Banks, that the international stuff starting to pick up as far as I'm concerned. This is the third international movie.
Yeah.
I know I recommended what is it, Major Grom and the Plague Doctor to you. And that's a movie. If you're watching, please check it out. And if you have seen it, let us know what you thought of it. But
we will be reviewing that, and we are going to be reviewing another movie you recommended, How I Became a Superhero.
Yes.
And I mean, I agree, man. And I love the fact that Netflix is doing this, where it's just like they're getting these international films, and then they're getting voice actors to dub it. And we've had a couple of voice actors on our podcast where it's like they've done dubs to international films that are on Netflix. So it's just cool that we have the option to, even if it's not dubbed, if it's subbed, you know what I'm saying? Because like, isn't the Plague Doctor?
Yes,
like, that's subbed, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, and I want to say honestly, bro, I feel like it all started with Parasite when that movie came out over here, and it had subtitles and it won all of the awards and whatnot, and it was a really good movie. And to people like us, and when I say people like us, I mean anime watchers who watch stuff subbed. A lot of people, they really don't like watching stuff that is in the original dub, because it's just like they don't understand what the people are saying. But it's just like, if you just put that to the side and then you just read the subtitles, like you'll find some pretty amazing stuff that has come out in other countries. And I mean, even with this movie, so, like, you could tell like some of the characters, like, they were dubbed, and then some of the characters, like, they speak in the natural language that they speak in.
Yep.
But
I do want to piggyback off that, and I say, if you can get with these international films, with the quality of film, where the casting, the dubbing, even some of them, the music, and a lot of them are really good. The acting, like I mentioned, the practical, all of it is just, they're good quality films or shows. And if you can get the language barrier out of the way, you'll probably enjoy it. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Quality
with you,
stuff.
Oh, for sure. So I want to ask you, man, before we wrap this thing up. So we get to the end of the movie, we see what happens. It's they end up arriving at an airport. Now, this is how the movie starts. The movie starts with them arriving at the airport, and then we get a flashback of everything that happened on the plane that led up to this moment. And I just want to ask you, like, what were your thoughts when the plane landed? That the vampires are up there now. Did you think that the vampires were gonna make their way in Scotland and take over, or like, what were your thoughts, man?
I was definitely on the fence. It was one of those moments where the moment where I had to sit up and I'm like, please give me closure, movie. And they did deliver.
Yes.
So I was happy. I was content, very content with the ending. Like, let it stop here. But they take the boy off, and then they thank the guy who's trying to, the one that his mom basically left in charge of the operation, because she knew.
Fareed.
Fareed. Fareed, thank you. And it's just one of those moments where they think he's a terrorist, and they take the kid, and it's, damn, looks like they lose, but nope.
Yeah, and then to see Naja, which she's finally given in to being a vampire. That's and correct. Elias was sitting there calling out to her, and then she just started running. Like, it was sad, man. It was sad.
It was.
Because that's his mom, and like, she went through all of that stuff to protect him, and watching him grow up. And now, D, I just want to say, a lot of people, they in this movie universe, it's just like they don't know anything about vampires.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting that this is everybody's first, well, like this in this area, this is their first time experiencing this. Even the military, they still don't believe what they saw. Like, they just saw that people were getting killed on the plane and whatnot.
They had no idea. It was a bloodbath. They didn't know what was going on.
So, bro, I would be down for a second movie, because again, you got to remember, like, the guy who originally bit Naja, he was bitten by somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it would be cool. Like, I rather
blood ray at sea.
Yeah, hey, I don't want it to be at sea. I mean, they could. I just wanted to focus on different characters. It's like you can mention the events that happened in the first movie.
They do it all the time. Like with the Wreck movies do that, where it's like first it's in it's in a apartment complex and they quarantine. It's basically the movie that Quarantine was based off of.
Yeah.
And it starts in that and then it goes to a wedding, I think, next. Somebody from the apartments or somebody who gets bit by the same dog or something like that ends up at a wedding and then it carries on. So then it ends up on a ship. So yeah, it could happen, Banks. It's not a stretch.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for it. I haven't heard anything else about it, but I will say that this movie, like the ratings that I've seen for it, I was trying to pull it up, but they're not coming up right now. But I saw nothing but good things about this.
Good. Good. It deserves it, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I really enjoyed this.
It deserves. I'm trying to see. Okay, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 72%. Screen Rant 3 out of 5.
Not bad.
I mean, it's a good movie. I highly recommend it. D, final question for you. What is your rating that you give this movie 1 out of 10?
I'm gonna give it an 8. Nice. I really enjoyed it, and I was a little questionable because of the length of the film being 2 hours. I think 2 hours even. Yeah. So, but it delivered. I enjoyed the cast. I enjoyed the practical. The story was really fun. And the language barrier wasn't a problem. I watch films like that all the time, so I enjoyed it. And you? What'd you give it?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with you on this. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 as well. I've really enjoyed it.
I like it.
From beginning to end. Just the whole surprise that she was a vampire. Because it's just like, honestly, when she got shot, I thought that was it. And I loved how, after she got shot, like they go into how she became a vampire. Because as all that we knew when we was watching this was that she was just trying to get to New York. That's all we knew. So I thought that they did a really good job, like how you said, with the practical effects and the prosthetics. Like everything was on point, man. Like the makeup was really good.
Solid project.
Just seeing these people that were normal humans, and then like their skin is decaying and they're becoming these monsters. Like it was really good. So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. Highly recommend this movie. It's on Netflix. Blood Red Sky. Check it out. D, let them know where they can find you at social media land.
You can find me at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Benjamin, if they have a zombie or a vampire or a werewolf outbreak on an airplane, tell them where they can find a hero at.
You can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching this review. Make sure you check out some more of our reviews that we have here on the channel. Interviews, reaction videos. Check out our podcast. Like I always say, keep that pinky up. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you stay positive. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.